Isn't this exciting? Isn't it exciting to think that actually the thing that we're carried even to church tonight, God can take it away. God can resolve the pain, the hurt, the bickering, the low self-esteem, all these things. In fact, I don't believe in self-esteem. I believe in Christ esteem. I have to read what the word says, and he says, you're precious, you're redeemed, you're bought at a price, your life isn't your own anymore. Those are the things that fed me when I became a Christian. And I became a Christian, I only listened to Christian music. For some of you, that's going to be a shock for some of you young people, because you think, oh, that must mean hymns and brass bands. Not quite that old, but actually, and if you like hymns and brass bands, nothing wrong with that. But actually, I've even got some music on my phone now that I used to listen to when I just became a Christian. People like Steve Taylor, Sheila Walsh, Graham Kendrick before he wrote hymns. Great songs about where have all the Christian soldiers gone. I listened to all those things and I put them on the inside of me. So now I'm listening to some of them again. In fact, I was playing some of it in the office the other week. And Penny said, what's that you're listening to? It doesn't sound Christian. I said, my dear, this is Randy Stonehill circa 1982. Some of you don't know who Randy Stonehill is, but if you do, rejoice with me because he's still on tour. And so there's something about that gets into you. Listen, and I'm belaboring this point. Listen to what the Spirit of God says about you. Do not listen to the lie that says you have to continue the way it's been. Listen to him, and everything will start to change. Let's move on very quickly to the voice of Jesus. The voice of Jesus carries authority. Mark 10:49, call him. How many of you just need to hear Jesus say those words? Come on, son. Come on, daughter. I'm going to sort it out with you. I'm going to heal. I'm going to take away the pain, the shame, and everything else. I've died for this. See, now everything changes with those two words. The crowd stops as well. The religious are looking, oh, something good's going to happen. We can go home and say, we had a good meeting. Something's going to change because Jesus has stopped and now he's calling him. Maybe they know that's a sign that he's going to do some sort of miracle. Call him. Is Jesus called to us? Yes, to be saved, but more than that. The call of Jesus is not the exclusive domain of clergy. Can I lovingly say every member of this church is a minister? Every member's a minister. We call the ministry team for full-time people, but actually we're all the ministry team. Some of us are now looking shocked. So, oh goodness, I don't like that. But John 15:16, Jesus said, you didn't choose me, but I chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. Then the Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. You see, we're called and appointed to bear fruit. This church is not a one-man show, a four-man show. It's a 400-person show and hopefully growing. We don't have 1 year to do things. We have 400 years in 1 year, if that makes sense, because we each have a year. If we combine our years, then 2012 isn't just 1 year to us, it's 400. We can do the work of 400 years in 1 year. Wouldn't that be revival? That would be a frightening thing, wouldn't it? To do the work of 400 in 1 year. You see, we're called and appointed to bear fruit. All of us. The questions of Jesus carry compassion. One of the things that really scares people is that Jesus might ask me something. We want to go up to Jesus like an ATM. That's not my pen. Take our spiritual answer to prayer, stow it away, and off we go, and that's our interaction with Jesus. But Jesus was forever asking questions. In fact, I came into the kingdom asking questions. I asked loads of questions. I asked questions that sent them to textbooks. I didn't know it sent them to textbooks and concordances and theology books because I didn't really know what theology was. But I was asking questions. Well, can that really be the case? So, actually, we don't really die. We're just sort of translated to heaven and death doesn't happen. And it's like, well, only if you're raptured. Oh, what's the rapture? Well, that's, that means we're taken out. And I said, well, actually, rapture just means joy. Yes, we'll be happy about it. And so there's all sorts of things that went along with those sort of questionings. When I was young, I had a very quick mind. I've slowed down a bit, I have to say. But the questions of Jesus carry compassion. Never be afraid of the question. He spent much of his ministry provoking people with parables, asking them questions and answering them. Jesus asked a simple question of Bartimaeus. What do you want me to do for you? Isn't that a daft question? He's blind. Come on, Jesus. He's blind. What do you want me to do for you? And I've wondered about that, and then it's only as I started praying for people on a more regular basis that I realized actually what we might think is the obvious need isn't actually what they want. Because he might have said, Jesus, I've just thrown my coat away. I'd like another one, please. He might have said, well, actually, Jesus, I want to retire from begging, so could you just, I thought you being Jesus would probably have a bit more gold than anyone else. Yeah, because I've heard about the three kings. They did give gold to your mother. Where's it gone? He might have said that. Who knows? I actually think that was Mary's pension, by the way, in case you're wondering. I think God was gracious to her. But actually, he might have asked any numerous things, couldn't he? What do you want me to do? And I think that's the question that Jesus wants to ask us tonight. What do you want me to do for you? Well, Jesus, I actually don't want you to do anything for me because that would be wrong, because it's not right that I ask you for something for me, because actually I'm supposed to be praying for others and going out and witnessing and all that sort of thing. And actually, Lord, to ask for something for me, son, daughter, what do you want me to do for you? Ponder that for a second. If you could ask Jesus anything, what would it be? Take me home now, Lord? My unsaved son, my father, doesn't know you. My job, Lord, it's really hard. Lord, I keep running out of money. Lord, there's all these things. What do you want him to do for you? See, so often we build church around, what have you done for him lately? What do you want him to do for you? If he was standing right in front of you, I would ask you like Bartimaeus, what is it? What would you ask him? You don't have to tell me, but in a few moments I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell him. All of a sudden it's not funny anymore. Because all of a sudden, many of us have got those things cropping up in our mind. Those things that we've lived with, the problems we've encountered. See, below the surface is where Jesus wants to get. On the face of it, what more could we want? Most of us live in relative comfort. We have a relatively nice building, keeps us dry, apart from a leak in the corner. Things are okay. I wonder about that little boy that we told you about yesterday. I wonder if he woke up yesterday wanting a birthday party and said, if only I could have a birthday party. And walked into here and had the party of his life. I wonder what it is that Jesus is so anxious to do for you, that you're so scared to ask him to do for you. Isn't it amazing how we will hold back because it's not right and proper? But actually, there is nothing more right and proper than going to him and saying, I need this. Nothing more right and proper than that.